My t-shirt has Oodlaw on it. Hello, Samuel Davis here, just quickly coming in to leverage a counter-argument. I think Timelord Victorious is a small miracle. There's been a lot of criticism levelled at it for things that it can't control, such as linking up to the TV stuff. Why is David Tennant still the Doctor? And yeah, okay, put the David Tennant memes aside for a second. It's largely because some of these mediums do not likely have the rights to use the 13th Doctor. Big Finish have been doing most of the heavy lifting and they can't use anything post-Capaldi. On another note, this might just not be her story, and I have enough faith in James Goss to have picked 9, 10 and 8 for good reason. And lastly, this is an event grounded in multimedia synergy. Yeah, it'd be great if it did connect up to the TV series, but that's not Big Finish's job. That's not Titan Comics' job. These smaller businesses, these other companies, are not as in league with the BBC and their primetime dramas as we might like them to be. But also, that's fine. Chibnall has no intention of referencing Big Finish, of incorporating Titan Comics or the Escape Room. For fans of these other mediums, we've accepted for a very long time they exist in their own little space, separate but also free to do what they like. So, when David Tennant is on every piece of merchandise in the year 2020, I don't see that as oversaturation, I see that as a success. All of the other mediums, all of the other Doctor Who outlets, absolutely knocking out of the park. It's the BBC themselves who are not picking up the slack. This is their achievement, this is James Goss's achievement, and as a result, we should just be grateful and let them have it. Quick spoiler for Defender of the Daleks, Titan Comics gave 13 a small cameo, kind of shrugging her shoulders. I don't know what she's doing there any more than she does, which solidifies to me that she has no place in this story. It's their success, and if it does well, we'll be bound for more Marvel-style events in the near future. With a different theme, with a different inciting incident. Oh my god, I hope so, because this is the most creative thing to come out of this franchise for a good while. If you haven't taken the plunge yet and the story chains are making you scratch your head, just know it's nowhere near as complicated as this silly little graph makes it out to be. Loosely connected by a grander event. If you have ever read any of the comics or you got through Moffat season, trust me, you can handle this. Because really they're a bunch of standalone stories. The core of the story is happening in the novels. That could be 1 novel, 2 novels, or 3, you choose. James Goss, the project manager, and all of his contributors have stressed that you can take any single piece as its own story. The event ends when you want it to end, but not everybody can handle that because some people are primarily collectors. Oh, we know it. And it's fine. Dust off your perfectly aligned DVD and Blu-ray set. Mine definitely isn't. In fact, be proud of it, King. But it can't come before storytelling itself, can it? And there is a building story here, even if you just read the comics like me. So far, I don't recommend Defender of the Daleks. It's some of Titan Comics' weaker output, but my god, it feels so good to finally see them given the license to the Daleks. After what, 5 years? He Kills Me Not is a great small-scale western. I do recommend, just don't expect anything crazy to happen. My main takeaway wasn't, how does this tie into the bigger picture? But more so, how do I get this Brian fella on a t-shirt? But my main engagement with this event so far is the Blu-ray collection. Great value, weirdo little purchase for somebody whose DVD rack looks like this. Everyone's getting in on the fun. It's a proper celebration of Who, and after a very divisive half-series on TV this year, I think that's all any of us can ask for. There's more Who in the world. You get to pick and choose what you want to follow. That's the beauty of it. But Doctor Who is not one single entity. Maybe a Ross Lee Davis could have done that, but even his crossovers is carefully coordinated and well-structured crossovers where TV to TV. And trust me, this is very strange. On one angle, I am a Tennant baby. I was brought up in the late 2000s. On the other, I really want new Whittaker stories. And the one I see in the novels and the comics is the Whittaker, the 13 that I like. But there'll be a lot of time for them. Jodie House's writing of the 13th Doctor is the best I have seen so far, and shows that this team can be done justice in the hands of anyone else. Sorry, I said I wouldn't bash. There isn't really any shortage of 13th Doctor media, we just have this as well. Regardless, she will get her stories. There will be more material in the years ahead. And in a year where the books, the audios and the comics have been there for me more than... it's sad that some people use this as an excuse to rag on the other mediums and the smaller companies. When no, they're coming into their own. I've heard out many of the criticisms, the fact that it's needlessly hard to follow, it isn't. That it's anti-consumer and overly expensive, perhaps valid. But saying that it's downright unfair for certain parts of the story to be locked off on a t-shirt or a live event in London that you'll never get to do is a bit disingenuous, when it's been made clear from day one that you get as much out of the event as you put in. You can get a full story just from reading one book or one audio, or 2 audios, 1 escape room, and 1 Top Trump pack. We're so lucky as Who fans to have this because it's something only this series could probably do. Other franchises that have the legacy to do this are usually a legal minefield. I saw people ragging on this before anything had even come out, but have some faith in James Goss. Go into it as a story rather than a collectathon, and you'll be sure to get a lot out of it. Or maybe just the Timelord Victorious Ood glow-in-the-dark t-shirt with lore on it. That's all I can hope for anyway.